Hey guys, it's Mike here, and today I'm going to be reviewing Jigsaw, the long-awaited sequel to the Saw franchise. In my last video, I marathoned and reviewed all of the previous Saw movies. You can find a link to that in the description and the end card of this video. So ever since the original run of the Saw movies ended 7 years ago, hardcore fans of the series have been waiting for another sequel and continuation of the story. So how was Jigsaw, and was it actually worth the wait? Well, without further ado, let's get into this review. So this movie follows the story of yet another Saw game, which in classic Saw fashion is already underway once this movie begins. The main Saw game happens within a barn, as once again 5 people have been abducted and subjected to a number of brutal tests, which can leave them dead if they don't follow the rules. This film follows as they navigate these traps. Meanwhile, both police and medical examiners are trying to determine where they are and who is doing this. Could Jigsaw really be back? Has John Kramer truly risen from the dead? Therein lies the mystery of this film. Now, overall, I thought this was a decent movie. Is it the best Saw movie? Of course not, but I also wouldn't say it's the worst. Rather, it's probably somewhere in the middle. But let's get into why this is the case. Now, let's start with the traps of the film, which are a large part of what draws people to the Saw franchise. Some of them are pretty cool, including the first trap we see, which is reminiscent of Saw 5. Another trap we see later on, which looks a lot like a cyclone, is also cool. However, some of them are a little par for the course of these movies, and they're hardly the best we've seen yet, but still pretty good. Another thing that draws people to these movies is the gore. Many fans come into this movie wanting to see brutal deaths, dismembered bodies, and lots of blood. Well, this film certainly delivers on those fronts. Plenty of blood is spilled, and people meet their brutal demises. Again, they aren't necessarily the most violent or brutal traps in the series, but they deliver the goods nonetheless. As far as the acting, it's alright. These films aren't really about the actors giving great performances anyway. Most of the time it's just solid or passable. Of course, Tobin Bell makes his appearances in this film as he does in the other Saw movies, and his performance is great like always. However, I would say the two other standout performances belong to Matt Passmore as Logan Nelson, who is a medical examiner, and Linda Vandervoort as Anna, who is one of those placed into the Saw game. And they both did a good job with the material they were given. As for the twist of the movie, it was pretty interesting. There's a number of questions raised about continuity, how John Kramer factors into everything, and if he's truly come back from the dead. At one point, the film looked like it was going to go full on over the top like Friday the 13th or other slasher films with what it was doing. However, by the end, it makes a lot more sense. Is it the amazing twist from the end of Saw 1? Of course not, but it was still enjoyable overall. So overall, when it comes to this film, I thought it was decent. It's not the best Saw film by any means, but it's also not the worst, which I'd probably still give to 7. This is a solid return to the franchise, and as the movies usually do, it left things open for a possible continuation. And I've seen 8 of these movies so far, so I'm sure I'll see the next one as well. I'm going to give Jigsaw a 6 out of 10. So what do you guys think about Jigsaw? Are you planning to see it? And where do you rank it among the Saw films? And also, what's your favorite Saw movie? Mine would probably have to be 1 or 2. Let me know in the comments down below. And as I always say, stick around, because there's a lot more to come in the future. Make sure to subscribe to this channel and enable notifications so you could see all of my content right away when it comes out.
Yes, and you'd better subscribe and enable those notifications.